And what you tried to control before when it was neat and standing up, and you may even have been able to hold a little bit of weight in the worry. But eventually, if it's long enough, it will crumble. I have this cool game. Anybody ever played Jenga? I always get anxious about this. I'm like, when's it gonna fall? You try to move different pieces. If you never played Jenga before, the goal of it is you take out a piece of something somewhere on here and you stack it on the top, and you keep doing that until eventually somebody takes out a piece and it falls and crumbles down, and everybody goes crazy because it just fell down. But this is life. This is my neat little box. And so in this neat little box, I got everything under control. I really don't have anything to worry about. But then something happens, and my hours, they get cut at work here. Get out. They get cut at work here. So there's a little bit of a worry. It's something specific because now I'm dealing with less money. So that's hard. So it just stacks on and it piles on as weight up here. And then suddenly, like my kids are going through stuff at school and I don't know how to handle it. They're being bullied at school and I don't know what to do with that, and it's worrying me. And it's just more weight that's put on top of me. And so we go and we go and we go and we go, okay, you know what? My spouse is coming home late. I don't know what's going on with that. He's working longer than he normally does, and he's being very quiet about all of it. I worry about that, and it just stacks on more weight. Till eventually what happens is something happens, and it's this thing that, it was a linchpin. And enough worry has set in that things begin to crumble and they fall apart. And what you tried to control before when it was neat and standing up, and you may even have been able to hold a little bit of weight in the worry, but eventually, if it's long enough, it will crumble. It will fall. And there's pieces everywhere. And this is where anxiety comes in. Because maybe you can handle hours getting cut. Maybe you can handle having a conversation with the husband, like, why are you working late? And everything's okay. Maybe you can handle the kids and what's going on with them being bullied at school. But eventually, enough worry gets in, and it's all over the place. It's all over the place. And if we let it sit there long enough, anxiety develops, fear comes in, and it takes root. Because what does worry do? It causes us to be paralyzed in the moment. We don't know what to do. We don't know what to do. And it's just all over the place. It's all over the place. I don't know if you've ever felt like that, where it just crumbled. It just crumbled before us. What do we do? What do we do when it gets to this place? What do we do when the worry is so much that we don't even know where to begin to pick up the pieces? Like, we don't remember how this was all put together. Like, where do we even start to fight against this worry? Well, first of all, we need to go to God's Word. And I want to share a statement with you, and then I'm going to share some verses with you that tie into it. But I want you to know this. Jesus is not looking for workers who measure up. He's looking for resters who will trust in him. You don't feel like you measure up. You don't feel like it. I got to tell you a harsh reality. I got to tell you the truth about something because I love you too much. Okay? You are not enough. You are not sufficient enough. There's something in you that is actually incapable of putting this back together. And the reason for that is because as human beings, we're not enough. And we need God to come in and to help put this back together. If you try to put this back together yourself, you're going to put things in the wrong place. You're going to forget some things that need to be put back together. God needs to come along in your insufficiency and provide sufficiency. He needs to come along in your worry and provide faith for you to put this all back together. But if you have a thought, I'm not enough, I'm insufficient, guess what? It's the truth. It's the truth. But that's not to condemn you. It's actually to expose that lie that you are not enough. The truth is Jesus needs to help you. The truth is Jesus needs to come in to help you measure up. And Jesus is not looking for workers who are going to work to put this together so they feel like they measure up. Jesus is looking for people to rest and trust in him.